Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Sunday to you and your family. We're taking a look here, of course, at Terra Classic, seeing best practice, big picture in the whole 9 yards, and we're going to take a look at, just some standard stuff. Bitcoin dominance is on the rise. Big surprise there with Bitcoin price essentially averaging itself out sideways or up. A lot of altcoins are getting hit right now. So you can see a lot of red across the board here for the most part, including Terra Classic, right? Terra Classic's seeing a correction here today. The reason before that, of course, because it was overextended to the upside on the short term, so we can expect a pullback. I mentioned that yesterday that it makes sense if the price comes back to about 29,000. We're really close to that level right now, so we'll see exactly what that looks like and much more. So if you are new to the channel, please note this, I'm not a financial advisor. I truly do love teaching people to trade, so I hope you can learn something here today. That's my goal and my passion. If you want to learn a lot more, become a better trader, I have a trading academy, community, and signal group option through my website here, where you can effectively benefit from the signals. We just took a decent 25% in the last 48 hours for Ethereum for a nice short position there, and a handful of other things that you can, of course, benefit from specifically with the community. Everyone is so willing to learn. It's a great experience. So be sure to check that out in your own time. Same thing as well with BitGet. I recently partnered with them because they offer leverage in the United States without a VPN. It's just uncommon, no KYC. It's really cool, extremely beneficial. They have like a 4.8 out of 5 stars on their application because it just works so smooth and so easy. So I guarantee you're going to like it. If you want to benefit from some transfer funds, so when you transfer funds and use their exchange, you get up to $4,000 in bonus. Okay, I got a decent amount because I transferred a lot, but the more you transfer, the better you're going to be. Honestly, the more volume you trade, the better you're going to be as well, because it all is kind of relative. Okay. So taking a look here at Terra Classic, big picture on the daily. We are below the 20-day simple moving average. We've been there for some time, but we're still up over the 50. So you got to recognize that even though the 50-day simple moving average is about 19,600, it's slowly working its way up, and that's going to become eventually a support level. Okay, I mean, it is currently, of course, if the price were to come down, but generally speaking, the 50-day SMA and the price should continue to ascend. They'll both continue higher naturally. We've also got 50 on the RSI holding as a support level. You got to keep in mind 50 is a very good number in trading. At least being on the right side of it, right? So if we're up over 50 on the RSI, we're in good shape here, allowing that to us to understand that we're continuing to see this as a support level. It's important to have the price action increasing as well as the RSI going at the very least sideways, okay? So that's a good sign there. Taking a look at the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. This is one thing that is not really telling us a heck of a lot. We can see it starting to plateau, which is nice. In other words, it's slowing down its momentous trend to the downside, but on the same accord, it's natural for it to do this based on the overall momentum that it's had, considering how high it got in the first place. Okay, so keep in mind, these are moving averages. They take a little while to average out. One is a 12, one is a 26-day exponential moving average. So it takes a moment for them to kind of average out. And in that sense, not really telling us a lot. So in the overall sense of things here, the macro looks just kind of average. Fair to middling, nothing crazy. Take a look at the 4-hour, however, we can kind of see that there is a different narrative here. So this ascending type of trend that we had previously, this was, again, short-lived, but a trend is a trend until it isn't, right? That effectively is no longer valid. In other words, it's invalidated by the price action coming down here. We can see the 20-day simple moving average working as a tentative support level, but once again, that $29,000 range is essentially holding as a potential support. Again, it's too early to tell. We need a little bit more time at this price point to find out. But right here at this level, again, we are looking at a potential support and resistance level. It's kind of figuring it out, okay? But once again, 29,000 as a rough estimate, it should hold as support. And then one thing we also want to take a look at would be the RSI. We can see we kind of got rejected off of 50 here. This is generally disadvantageous. But again, you got to understand that the price action did come up and became overextended. We hit a 9 previously, right? So if that's coming down to a 6, hypothetically, we've only got about 12 more hours of downside before the price action comes up. And so as long as this most recent low, in other words, the price continues a little bit lower, as long as it's not lower than the most recent low here, we are in good shape. Okay, so we want to make sure that the price never goes below 27,000. Okay, hypothetically, we stay above, you just say we dip down to 28 or 27.5, we should be in good shape to still be continuing to make higher lows. And that would effectively give us this continuation pattern. Okay, so again, that's what we're ultimately looking for. So I'm not super concerned with a sell-off because this makes sense that it is doing so based on how overextended it was. I mentioned this yesterday that we were at like a 2 or a 3 yesterday, and it made sense that the price action would continue lower because of that. Okay. Now, I was hoping that we'd stay above this trend line, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a deal breaker and the deal is off, right? We're still in good shape until it proves otherwise. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking at there in that sense. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour and go ahead and call it a day for you guys and just kind of summarize here and see what's up. With the 1 hour, first of all, we can see on TD sequential, we did recently hit a 9, so the likelihood of the price action kind of going sideways from here is higher. We also hit a 9 previously, as I mentioned yesterday, where the price action continued upwards and kept hitting 6s, 7s, and 8s. So at this point, with us hitting a 9 here, hypothetically, the price action should either bounce and or go sideways and then consolidate enough within the next 12 to 24 hours to leg up again. So again, there's more likelihood the price would come up than down from here based on the overall sentiment and where things are at. But there's no doubt that we are starting to make lower highs and we are making lower lows. I mean, I flipped that around, but you can see the lower lows and lower highs essentially. So that's not great, but that's not telling completely because this is the hourly time frame, right? You start seeing the same patterns on the 4 hour, different story. That translates into a macro bearish situation, okay? But for now, not terrible, looking good here in that regard. Ichimoku cloud, we're within the cloud here still. And this is kind of a, I would say maybe potential saving grace, whereas you have the upper and lower lead here and essentially helping you understand that we are still within that. It's typically a no buy zone, right? You're not supposed to buy when the price is in the cloud. You're supposed to buy when it breaks either above or below it. Excuse me, sorry for that. So if we can see here, we got the lagging span, free and clear price action. That's a positive sign for a potential short position. Conversion lines below the baseline, we just haven't lost the cloud yet. So if the price does break below the cloud for 2 to 3 hours, then that would be potentially a consideration for a short position. I would recommend waiting though for confirmation. Even though that is somewhat of a confirmation, we want to make sure that we break below 50 on the RSI. We want to make sure that we have confirmation it's going to continue lower, because right now we're getting close to that over-exhaustive state. We need another 12 more hours of continuation down lower, and we could possibly see the price action bounce back. So I'd say it's it's not ideal to take a short position yet, but it's getting there, if that makes any sense. Okay, so again, not terrible. I think there's mostly positive here than negative, but on the same accord, not going to sugarcoat it. There is potential the price action could come lower, and it really just depends on the Bitcoin dominance and what Bitcoin decides it wants to do. Bitcoin's absorbing a lot of market capitalization right now because it's a juicy 19,000 range right now. So in that sense, it's getting a lot of profits from other altcoins. And what do you know? Terra Classic is up, or was up 550% from one of its lowest points, a week and a half prior. And now at this point, even still, it's up 212% from its average price, its average true range from before. So you got to recognize this is still a profitable coin, and these coins sell off when Bitcoin dominance goes up. All right, just something to think about. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you learned something here, of course. And if you want to become a better trader, once again, cryptocash.tech is the website. Link in the description below. A couple of little additives here to keep this in mind. I do offer discounts for third world countries and military. So please reach out to me direct if you have questions on that, or you feel you fit the qualifications. We'll get you set up. And then also, too, I have a referral bonus, too, if you want to refer people once you become a member. So keep that in mind as well. All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.